सर नॉर्मल इस पे ले लीजिए एक बार वापस, आपका कंप्यूटर ऑडियो पे ले लीजिए। लेकिन आपका माइक्रोफोन म्यूट है ना सर?
माइक्रोफोन है ही नहीं यार, यहाँ माइक्रोफोन आ ही नहीं रहा।
नहीं, माइक बंद है आपका। माइक का ऑप्शन देखिए ऊपर में।
एक मिनट माइक लगा रहा हूँ।
हाँ, अब देखो, अब बोल के देखो सर। Hello everyone, good evening. We are about to start our meet in 2 minutes. Just give us 2 minute time. दूसरा ईयरफोन लाए क्या सर? हेलो सर, आवाज आ रही है गोपाल सर आपको? हेलो गोपाल सर।
एक मिनट यार मैं कनेक्ट करता हूँ।
There is a minimal audio issue which we are having from Dr. Gopal sir side. We are correcting that audio issue and will be online in 2 minutes. Just give us 2 minutes time. सर आया क्या? गोपाल सर, हाँ गोपाल सर, क्या हुआ सर? आवाज ही नहीं आ रहा आपका। इधर पूरा क्लियर आ रहा है मेरे को। मैं अभी एक कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि मैं मेरा यहाँ से ब्लूटूथ से कनेक्ट करके देखता हूँ।
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Rajendra Arora sir, Sudhir Deshmukh sir, Parag. We are very sorry. Till now, we are not getting audio connection from Gopal sir. We are seeing his screen. We can even see his face online, but we are not seeing his. We are not listening to his voice. We are trying since last 20-25 minutes this thing, but it's not getting connected. Yesterday we had done this and it was okay, but we are not getting any audio connection as of now. We don't know what's wrong. So I request any of the senior members to at least start the discussion about carcinoma rectum till that time. So Dr. Gupta sir, Dr. Thakur sir, we have Dr. Rahate sir, also Pradeep Arora sir. If anyone please can help us out and start the discussion at least by the time Gopal sir gets back with his another laptop. Hello, Parag.
Hello.
Yeah, Parag. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
So we have some issues only with audio. We are seeing his screen there. The screen which you all are seeing is Dr. Gopal Gurjar sir's screen. We have got his PPT also, but there is a little bit connectivity issue with audio.
Okay.
So that's why we cannot get him online completely. We're very
No,
sorry
he
for
cannot
that.
see. He cannot be
No,
seen.
no. Yeah, I know, sir. Unka webcam is working. We have closed the webcam as of now till the time he is working on another laptop. Close the webcam. It was seen, sir. It was seen. We were seeing him. A small issue has come up. That's why we could not get him online. हाँ, बताओ। हाँ, सर। है ना? बोलो। Webinar ID 450 355 267 67 आईडी है ये। नहीं, क्या वेबिनार का पासवर्ड मांग रहा है आपको वो?
Can somebody hold a dialogue with Dr. Arora? Hello, Yogesh.
Gupta sir, tell me, you had.
Can you ask
Sir,
Dr. Arora
Yeah.
to share all his experiences? I mean, he began in a small place like Amravati.
Dr. Pradeep Arora, sir, he is online, but he's not there near his
Rajendra
laptop or
Arora,
mobile.
Rajendra Arora or Pradeep Arora?
Yeah, Dr. Sir is also online, but he is muted. Rajendra Arora, sir. Arora, sir. Sir, please come online, sir. Use computer audio. You are using mobile. Please use computer audio, sir. Rajendra Arora, sir. I'll give a call to him, sir. Gupta, sir, I'll give a call to him. सर आप हमको ऑनलाइन दिख रहे हो, बट आपका ऑडियो जो है आपने टेलीफोन वाला यूज किया है शायद. ऑडियो फोन कॉल वाला नहीं सर, कंप्यूटर ऑडियो यूज कीजिए सर, नॉर्मल. सर उसमें ऑडियो ऑप्शन आ रहा है. हेलो, आपको पिन आया, ऑडियो पिन. आई हैव सेंट यू ऑडियो पिन. अभी क्लिक करके भेजा सर. नहीं, डायरेक्ट इधर से ही आया होगा सर. आप उसको ना कंप्यूटर ऑडियो पे आ जाइए सर. आपने फोन कॉल यूज किया है, यू कम ऑन कंप्यूटर ऑडियो, तो आपका आवाज बराबर आना. सर आप लैपटॉप पे हो या इसमें हो सर? अच्छा, मोबाइल से हो तो मोबाइल में ऑडियो ऑप्शन जो है सर वो चेंज कीजिए सर. आपका उसमें ही आ जाएगा. आपको माइक्रोफोन के पास टिक करके चेंज योर ऑडियो ऑप्शन. हाँ, कंप्यूटर ऑडियो पर. कंप्यूटर ऑडियो, हाँ, इंटरनेट ऑडियो. या अभी हम आपका सुन सकते हैं सर आवाज. आया सर? हेलो, आ रहा है. 1 सेकंड सर, आ जाएगा. आ जाएगा सर आपका. मैं आपका माइक अनम्यूट करूंगा, आप बोलना सर. वी हैव सम इश्यूज विद ऑडियो विद डॉक्टर गोपाल गुर्जर सर. So by that time you start your experiences of carcinoma rectum at Amravati. Just share some. That is the question being asked here. So we'll try for 5 more minutes. Otherwise we'll ask for any other presentation or we'll abandon today's talk. We'll see sir what else then. Yeah.
You guys ask him leading questions.
हाँ सर, we'll get back to you sir. 1 minute. हाँ सर, क्या हुआ? So we are very sorry we are not getting. Hello everyone. We are very sorry we are not getting his audio at all. We have tried all the options. We have even tried another laptop, but there seems to be a very big issue from Gopal sir's side. Somehow we are not getting his audio at all. So I'll ask Gupta sir. I'll take permission from senior sir. Rajendra sir, you are online. Arora sir.
Hello. Now I'm online and I think I'm audible to you.
Yes sir. Yes sir. We
Hello?
are listening.
Yes.
So Gupta sir has to speak to you. Subodh Gupta sir has to speak to you.
Yeah, okay.
You guys.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Dr. Arora. Ji, sir. Good
you
evening.
started work way back. Just share your experience about management of carcinoma rectum in the earlier days and now.
When we started, I think it is 25 to 30 years back. In that era, The radiotherapy facilities were not available, chemotherapy was not available. The only options was surgery. And at the time, the laparoscopic surgery was just started. So the option available with us was only open surgery. So the CA rectum problem was in those days was also very common, and we also had limited facility for radiology imaging also. So all was dependent on our clinical judgment and clinical examination. So the thorough clinical examination and thorough history taking was very important. The only indicator for the decision was our finger examination, per rectal examination. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
मोबाइल से बोलिए मैं आपको अनम्यूट रखूंगा so that we can listen to you.
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Can see
Yeah.
your screen. ये तो login
The
नहीं है.
surgical options available for CA rectum was either
नहीं, यहाँ पे तो लिखा है.
APR,
आप open कीजिए.
anterior resection,
आप आइए.
and low anterior resection.
That's right.
And
एक मिनट. मैं show your screen करता हूँ. I'll make you presenter. नहीं, आप लॉग आउट हो गए पूरे शायद. आपने बंद ही कर दिया क्या?
Sorry, doctor, perhaps they are trying something.
yeah,
या आप प्रेजेंटर बने हो सर? आपको आया होगा?
hello, hello.
या शायद
Hello. You are audible.
इंटरनेट.
Hello?
सर या
I can see.
सुधीर सर, सुधीर देशमुख sir is also.
Okay.
Sudhir sir, please share your experience about this same thing. Hello. सर आपका मोबाइल आप वापस लॉगिन कीजिए सर.
Hello.
सर लैपटॉप में जैसा आपने क्लिक करके किया था ना वैसा लॉगिन कीजिए और मोबाइल में आज जो थी वो लिंक क्लिक करके आई मोबाइल से. बोला मैं रुकता हूँ.
Hello.
Yeah, Sudhir sir, please.
Yeah.
Sir, we are
What
very
is-
sorry.
Hello?
Not getting audio from Dr. Gurjar sir. I am giving a last attempt to him. We will try one more time. Till that time, please start
Right,
a
right.
discussion. Share your experiences about management of carcinoma rectum, sir. Please.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Sudhir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Sumant Gupta here. First, ask Dr. Rajendra Arora to sum up what he was saying. He has
Yeah.
been.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ask,
The
please go ahead. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Please go ahead.
So during those days, the treatment options were anterior resection. Laparoscopy was not available. Now we are having robotic surgery also. But during those days, with the limited facilities, the option was only open surgery. The open surgical techniques which were used for CA rectum were anterior resection, abdominal perineal resection, and low anterior resection. Anterior resection was used when the tumor was mobile. It can be manipulated. On rectal examination, it seems to be mobile. It is not fixed to the posteriorly with the sacrum and the presacral fascia. Anteriorly, it is from the urethra, prostate, and bladder, and side to side if it is mobile. And if the lesion is below on examination finger, if it is 5 centimeter, 5 to 7 centimeter, means from 0 to 7 centimeter, we used to go for APR.
Right.
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
And if the lesion is above them, there 7 centimeter, 7 to 10 centimeter, we used to go for low anterior resection. And if it is more than 10 centimeter, the treatment option was anterior resection. Though with difficulty, but it was possible to go for anterior resection abdominally. So these were the options available.
Yeah. Were you using hand suturing more at that time, or you had staples?
Hand suturing.
Wonderful.
Hand suturing.
You can expand a little on this.
Yeah, hand suturing. After resection, we used to 4-layer sutures. First, we used to apply the posterior sutures.
What material?
Means layer.
What material?
It was Vicryl 20,
Yeah.
and then we used to take the suture from the distal and the proximal end, and we don't used to tie it. We used to clip it
Yeah.
with the artery forceps, and one by one, 7 to 8 sutures were taken posteriorly, and
Right.
these were sutures were kept like that. And after
Long.
taking all the sutures, long sutures, after taking all the sutures, these were tied and they got approximated, and then the third layer suture, and after that second layer, and then in the last first layer sutures. Second and third we used to take with chromic 20, first and third with the Vicryl 20.
How often did you abandon surgery on table intra-op?
Intra-op, very few cases.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
when
this-
there used to be then in those cases we did the colostomy. When it
Okay.
was stuck anteriorly or posteriorly, it was fixed. Then
Yes.
we used to do defunctioning colostomy, and we used to come out.
Do you remember any unusual histopathology that you came across?
Unusual histopathology?
Yes.
No.
I think now you can hand over to Dr. Sudhir Deshmukh to share his experiences.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Sudhir. Yes, Dr. Sudhir.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Singh, I can understand what era you are talking about. It is around 30 years back. You started
Yeah.
at Amravati, and that time really the investigation facilities were very less, and the whatever decision was taken for
Yeah.
surgical point of view was
Was
either
on the clinical.
clinical or maximum abdominal sonography or pelvic sonography. I do remember the first era of the sonography, then the CT scan, and then came the MRI. In fact, today we are stressing more on MRIs rather than CT scan. But initially, when CT scan was there and MRI was just about to come, that time the thinking was that the CT scan is more accurate compared to MRI. This was the initial thinking, say in 95 to 2000.
Yes.
And with that, we used to assess the operability or assess the extent of the disease and then decide the surgical treatment. No doubt,
Yes.
in that era, the surgical treatment was the mainstay of the treatment because
Yes.
the neoadjuvant and the post operative or post surgical chemotherapy
Radiotherapy.
and radiation both were not so much in a practical point of view were not usable or were not used, and so the surgery was the mainstay in that era. And probably
Correct.
with the advancement of the radiation therapy and the sophistication in radiation therapy, the radiation has come up as a new adjuvant in rectal cancers in last 10 years quite confidently. Yeah. So neoadjuvant chemotherapy and radiation nowadays has become one of the mainstay in taking
Yes.
decision whether the patient has to straightway go for surgery or neoadjuvant chemotherapy and radiation is the first treatment and then surgery. So these are the mainstay nowadays. And I can understand the problems you have faced in that time. After opening, or rather it was like a exploratory laparotomy.
Yes.
On exploration, you used to assess so many things and the extent of the disease. Maybe 30% inoperable patients with say palliative loop colostomy and just leave the patient like that, maybe the situation. But today it is not the situation because the advancement in the chemotherapy and radiation has given chance to the rectal cancers in a good way, pre-operatively and post-operatively, both way.
Correct.
Do you agree all these things?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, in those
So-
days, I remember the patient
Right.
when I sent the
Yeah.
patient for the CT scan
Yeah.
for the to know the extent of the disease. I wrote the diagnosis that it is a case of CA rectum. Please give me all the details. What the details they gave me? They reported it as a CA rectum, nothing else. No extra word was
Right.
written.
Yeah.
So it was that era.
I think
Yeah.
this is understandable because the knowledge of imaging people also grew with that. With the
Yes.
advent of
Yeah, yeah.
better, and now,
Now
we are
on
experts around
now
this.
we MRI we can say it is whether it is a T1 lesion or T2 lesion, or what
Yes.
is the extent and where it is approaching and where it is
हाँ,
invading.
हो गया, हो गया. Unmute.
Everything is before and we are able to know and we can decide accordingly. Sometimes we can treat the disease with endoscopic approach when it is very small lesion. So
Thank you very much.
this is the new
Now, perhaps we hand it over to Dr.
हो
Gurjar.
रहा है, धीरे से हो
Perhaps.
रहा है. हाँ हाँ, हो रहा है, हो रहा है. मेरे को दिख रहा है यार ये. Am I audible?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Gopal,
We have
I can hear you.
solved the audio issue. Now we will be going online with Dr. Gopal Gurjar sir. Next voice you will be listening to Gopal Gurjar sir. He will be speaking on management of rectal carcinoma. I have muted everyone, including I will be muting myself also. So next we'll be listening to Dr. Gopal Gurjar sir. Please put your webcam a little bit down, sir. We are just seeing your eyes. We are not seeing your complete face. Gopal sir, please take your laptop. Yeah. Now we are seeing you. So Gopal sir, next over to you. I'm very sorry for the delay to all the attendees as well as all the
Hello.
panelists. Yeah, Gopal sir, we are listening to you.
Am I audible?
Clear, sir, loud and clear.
Well, this is a fusion now. I am using my telephone to convey my voice, and my screen is showing what my presentation is like. So, sorry for the inconvenience. I'll start with my presentation. To begin with, I need to concede to the fact that I have wasted the time of all the panelists and all the audience today. Sorry from the bottom of my heart. To begin with, rectal cancer is a disease of the aging population, and it peaks at about 70 years of age. Most of these patients are having polyps, and less than 7% of these patients develop malignancy less than 40 years of age. About 7% of these patients have got synchronous polyps in the rectum. So I have broken this presentation down into diagnostic workup, the type of surgeries, adjuvant treatment, bladder denervation, ejaculation and fertility issues, and post-operative treatment. Coming to PR examination. PR examination is the cornerstone of all rectal cancer treatments. In the pre-operative period, when the patient arrives in the OPD, what we are interested in knowing is whether the perianal skin is involved or how the perianal skin is, whether there is induration, there are anal tags, fistulae or fissures, the tone of the anal sphincter, location of the tumor from the anal verge, upper limit of the tumor, the mobility, and in female patients whether the vagina or the uterus is involved, which is ascertained by bimanual palpation, and in males whether the prostate and bladder is involved. One important aspect of PR examination is to ascertain whether the levator sling is involved or not on PR. So after a thorough PR examination, we should come to know about the nature of local surgery that we are contemplating, the possibility of creation of a stoma, the need for exentration, need for radiotherapy and plastic reconstructions of the perineum. Now this photograph typically shows the extent of involvement of the sphincter complex, the internal sphincter, the external sphincter, and the levator sling. Coming to colonoscopy, I think I'll skip a few parts of this. Well, the narrowband imaging is utilized for early lesions. Baria minima is only to be mentioned as a historical perspective. CT colonography is relevant because in obstructed colons where colonoscopy is not possible, their CT colonography is helpful to determine the condition of the colon proximal to the level of obstruction. However, it does not give any histopathological tissue for diagnosis and is also inaccurate. This is what a CT colonography looks like, a polyp. CT scans are useful in determining lung and liver metastasis, retroperitoneal lymph nodes, and extracolonic spread to bladder, prostate, vagina, or uterus. Now, endorectal ultrasound is an important investigation in rectal cancers. It is 90 to 95% accurate in T staging and 70 to 75% accurate for N staging. It is very useful in determining and planning sphincter preservation, intersphincteric resections, and transanal endoscopic microsurgery. This is a typical picture of an endorectal ultrasound, which is showing the eccentric tumor and a perirectal node. Coming to MRI scan is an absolutely important part of investigation because it determines the T stage and suggests whether neoadjuvant radiation or chemoradiation is to be offered or not. Here, the circumferential radial margin is the most important factor, the perirectal nodes and involvement of the vagina and prostate. Now, circumferential radial margin is a relatively new concept in CA rectum. It has evolved in the last couple of decades only. It is an independent predictor of local recurrence in the sense that if the CRM is more than 2 millimeters, the chances of local recurrence are less than 6%. And if the CRM is less than 2 centimeters, it's as high as 16%. When the CRM is positive, it is extremely likely that the patient suffers a local recurrence as well as it's an harbinger of distant metastasis. So this is an MRI picture showing perirectal nodes in the mesorectum. Coming to PET scan, it has got a sensitivity of 97% and a specificity of 76% in evaluating recurrent colorectal lesions. Of course, serum CA levels are to be done in all patients. However, rectal malignancy patients generally do not have elevated CA levels. Coming to how a rectal cancer spreads, it spreads by direct spread through the longitudinal axis of the bowel, the transverse axis, the radial complete circumferential involvement, retroperitoneum, intraperitoneal. It spreads through lymphatics to the epicolic, paracolic, and para-aortic lymph nodes. Through bloodborne spread happens to the liver and the lung, and transcoelomic spread is also described. The total mesorectal excision is a concept which was put forth by Sir Bill Healds in the early 80s. He described the holy plane, which is the facial plane between the fascia propria of the rectum and the presacral fascia. He described the total mesorectal excision and claimed his local recurrence to be as low as 2.8%. So the old proctectomy technique used the finger dissection and blunt dissection in the sacral hollow, wherein finger dissection was done and the mesorectum was violated. A plate from the mastery techniques of the older edition does mention here that the surgeon passes his hand down the hollow of the sacrum and frees the rectum with blunt dissection. Another line mentions that the bladder is freed by blunt dissection.
Gopal sir, keep your mic, keep your mobile near your face, sir. That way we are hearing you more. Keep like that only. Yes.
Okay.
We are far more clear like that.
Now the principles of TME include total excision under direct vision with a sharp dissection technique. Avascular planes are achieved and an intact facial envelope of the tumor is gained. Nerve preservation would automatically happen in such a patient, and sphincter preservation, whenever possible, would be facilitated with sharp dissection of this nature. So the difference between the conventional and the optimal technique of dissection is that blunt should be given away with. The mesorectum should not be violated. The distal margins should not be coned in. That is, more than 5 centimeters distal margin of the rectum needs to be taken. Mesorectum has to be taken, and more than 2 centimeters of mural margin needs to be taken. So this is how the holy plane, as described by Sir Hills, is. So after a total mesorectal excision, the local recurrence rates after surgical resection for rectal cancers have decreased from about 30% to less than 10%. Whenever a TME is being contemplated, the lymph nodal spread can happen beyond the level of the growth, meaning thereby that lymph nodes which are distal to the level of the growth may be involved. For this, the inferior margin of the malignancy needs to be considered, and then the TME needs to be modified in such a way that the mesorectum distal to the growth of about 5 cm is taken in the specimen. Now, local recurrences following a non-TME surgery were in the ranges of 25 to 30%. Now, with addition of TME, they fell down to a single digit between 7 to 9%. Now, surgical approaches for CA rectum include an open approach, a laparoscopic approach, a robotic approach, and a transanal or a transanal total mesorectal excision, which is a new concept relatively. And types of surgeries can be differentiated between the level of the disease being an anterior resection, a low anterior resection, an ultra low resection, APR, a posterior exentration, intersphincteric resection, transanal pull through, or a poor man's LAR, and sacral excisions. Coming to colostomy, colostomy is an integral part of rectal surgeries, whether it be temporary or permanent. And whenever colostomies are being constructed, they should be high colostomies in view of the fact that if the patient is to be radiated, the colostomy site should be well above a line joining the anterior superior iliac spines, which is the radiation field for rectal malignancies. The transverse colostomy is generally preferred in patients who have got an obstructed lesion and an emergency decompression is required. Here, ileostomy should be avoided because if a patent ileocecal junction is present, then in that case, a diverting ileostomy will not decompress fecal matter which has passed across the IC junction. Ileostomies are generally preferred when they are temporary in nature, and they should not take place as a permanent solution for those having problems in the pelvic healing. For colostomies, I think proper counseling and informed consent is mandatory. Stoma societies as there are in the Western world, or for that matter, as a stoma society in Nagpur has been created by Tomesar, would help in counseling and convincing patients for stomas. Another way out is to use YouTube clips to convince patients for stomas. Coming to anterior resections are generally done for upper third malignancy of rectum. Here the TME needs to be taken down to the mid or the lower rectum. When we are using contour staplers, it facilitates the anastomosis in the sense that a more perfect anastomosis can be constructed. Here, one needs to make sure that the margins are negative, and for higher malignancies, a wider stapler needs to be used. We need to check for the intactness of the donuts. The betadine leak test is desirable, and an asepto air leak test would be an icing on the cake. For low anterior resections, the lesion is generally below the peritoneal reflection to up to 7 centimeters from anal verge, though this is largely arbitrary. Contour and stapling devices are helpful. Here, I think a PR examination should always be done after a contour has been lodged, but before it is fired, just to be sure that we are beyond the growth and with a sufficient margin of that. A splenic flexion mobilization is required in most LARs, and division of inferior mesenteric vein at the origin, at the summit with the splenic vein is mandatory. Here, after mobilization of the rectum, the growth generally comes out of the sacral hollow. Now, a concept of inferior mesenteric artery where it should be controlled, a low ligation versus high ligation is there. The high ligation means ligation within 2 centimeters of the aorta, and a low ligation means after the takeoff of the left colic artery. Both of them have got some advantages and disadvantages. A balance of both of these could be to do a low ligation with high lymphadenectomy, which preserves the left colic branch and also takes care of the high nodes along the inferior mesenteric takeoff. A high ligation is associated with more urinary and sexual problems, and a low ligation perhaps compromises oncology clearance. Coming to sphincter preservation, 95% of rectal cancers have an intramural spread of less than 1 centimeter. So technically, there is no additional advantage of taking a margin which is more than 2 centimeters. For an ultra low AR, this is between 5 to 7 centimeters from anal verge. It's either if it is possible, it's good to have a frozen section of the distal margin. The sphincter complex dysfunction is much more common in such kind of procedures, and an anal manometry is certainly desirable before we close stoma of such patients. Now, there are certain factors which obviate the stoma closure in a patient who has undergone ultra low resection. These factors include anal incontinence, stricture at anastomotic site due to radiation, anastomotic dehiscence, rectovaginal fistula, disease recurrence. Strikingly, the stoma reversal rate in patients who are elder than 65 years is only 30%. So a good consideration should be given in such patients to offer them an APR instead of vehemently trying to preserve the sphincter. Another interesting type of resection is an intersphincteric resection, wherein an MRI and an endosono is mandatory to establish that the external sphincter is free of disease and the levator ani is normal. Here again, mucosal margin needs to be 2 centimeters or greater. TME is to be performed, and this surgery does not require any staplers. This is a Lone Star retractor, which is utilized in this kind of surgery. If one does not have this, one may as well use a stricture urethra, perineal urethroplasty retractor, which most urologists have. And I have done these procedures borrowing these instruments from Bokhari sir. This is how the plastic bands are put on the anal opening, and eversion of the mucosa is done. Well, my experience of intersphincteric resection is that 2 of these patients had to be converted to an APR because of local recurrence. 1 patient developed local recurrence, and 3 of them are doing well after maybe more than 4 years of follow-up. They, however, have a free stool frequency of more than 6 to 12 per day. Now, these patients were done with laparoscopy from above and with no scar or covering stomas. Coming to APR, APR is a procedure which is done when the external sphincter or the anal canal is involved, and there is high chance of sphincter dysfunction or in an elderly with a weak anal tone, even if the growth is higher up. Now, coming to some aspects of APR, the pelvic packing of with omentum or a prolene mesh has been described. This has been described if the surgery has been done prior to RD. An omental flap based upon the right gastroepiploic artery can be created, and this omentum can be utilized to pack the pelvis. Another aspect is a perineal hernia, and after excentrations, a gluteal rotation flap might be required to close the perineal defect. I'll show you the technique of an extra levator APR. Now, if you have come down to that picture, the picture A here is showing a typical APR, wherein the after the perineal membrane is breached, the resection goes very close to the anal canal and the rectal wall, and the levator is cut on the bowel wall. Coming to picture B, here the levator has been taken off right from the origin. To do this, 2 things are required. One is a tongue depressor or a deep Langenbeck retractor, so that the origin of the levator can be seen.
Hello, Gopal sir. We are not listening to you, Gopal sir. Gopal
Hello.
sir, there was some connection lost. Yeah, Gopal sir. Can you listen to us,
Well,
Gopal sir?
Is my presentation visible to all?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. We are seeing you. We are listening to you. Go ahead, sir. Presentation is being seen.
Now the third picture is that of an extra-levator APR, wherein the levator needs to be cut right from the
सर मोबाइल ठीक से पकड़िए सर, मोबाइल का आवाज
Issue-rectal fat needs to be knocked off along with it.
सर नो वॉइस गोपाल सर.
After an extra-levator APR, hello, am I audible?
या सर
Now,
बोलिए सर.
after an extra-levator APR, the defect needs to be closed by rotation flaps, and it is better done with the help of plastic surgeons because the gluteus maximus or the clamp flap or the gracilis base skin flap is utilized to close the perineal defect. Here, the defect is closed by rotation of muscle and skin both. Now, in exenteration, I think all females where the growth is in the lower thirds and in relation to the posterior wall of the vagina, the proper surgery to be done is a posterior exenteration. Since the margin that we are expecting to take in C rectum is more than 1 centimeter, the posterior vaginal wall needs to be sacrificed in all females. In males, exenteration is indicated only if rectovesical fistula is there or else there is gross prostatic involvement.
बढ़िया.
Transanal pull-through is a type of ultra-low AR, which I think wherein the full thickness eversion of the rectal stump can be achieved by passing in Babcock's, and then the cut end of the colon can be brought out through the perineum and hand sutured with 2-0 vicryl. This would in effect be a poor man's LAR, wherein no staplers would be required, number one, and number two, no covering stoma is required. Since the anastomosis is deep down in the pelvis, the chances of generalized peritonitis are not there. Coming to some special types of APRs, an extended lymphadenectomy variety wherein an internal, external and common iliac nodes are removed, and very rare instances where sacral excision is also done. Hello.
गोपाल सर. सर प्रेजेंटेशन आगे नहीं जा रहा है सर आपका.
मैं तो सर कर रहा हूँ. नहीं, क्या करें?
APR. I am seeing extra levator APR slide. MRI guided. यही slide दिख रहा है सर.
Yes. तो
Arora sir, Rajendra Arora sir, you are seeing same slide?
No, same slide.
Yeah, we are seeing the same slide since.
Same slide.
Seems
long.
the presentation is not moving then.
Yes.
Presentation is perhaps not moving.
थोड़ा escape
How
करके
do we
बाहर
do
आइए.
now?
Escape.
Escape from what?
That presentation.
Go to previous slide पे जाओ. Gopal, go to previous slide.
Yes, sir. I have gone to the previous slide.
But it is not
No,
visible over here.
Sir, press escape so that you come out of the slideshow.
Yes, I have.
He has lost the connection of his laptop. He is
Probably.
audible.
No, but it is visible.
Yeah, I am audible through the phone call. Actually, it seems so. The internet connection is poor today.
It's just a frozen slide that we are seeing.
Yes, it's frozen slide. Correct.
Sir, give me a second. He's gone offline, sir. He's offline. We are not seeing. Gopal sir.
Yes, Yogesh.
Sir,
Yes,
you are
yes, yes.
offline. Sir. We are not seeing you online at all. You are online through mobile, but your screen is not there. Your laptop is offline, sir. That was the problem.
So what do we do now? I am helpless.
I understand. What we can do is we can reschedule in some other day, sir, so that we get better. Rajendra sir, sir, please
No,
advise.
I think discussion is going quite well. We should continue with the discussion, and again we will reschedule. But continue this discussion. Even without slides, it will be helpful.
We are not. We will not be seeing your slides, sir.
Yes.
But then we can
Yes.
continue discussion if you want.
Yes.
That way it would be Okay.
You scroll your slides on your laptop and continue your discussion. And if it is getting any means internet attachment, then we will be able to see that. Okay.
Yeah,
Scroll
better.
your slide
Okay.
on
better
your laptop.
Sir,
Yeah, better you continue and complete your presentation. No problem.
Yes. Yes. And scroll your slide for yourself for continuity.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
If rectal cancer is to be dealt with in elderly, that is more than 75 years and beyond, perhaps they might not be advised surgery at all, in the sense that primary radiation or maintenance on oral capecitabine stenting are good options in such patients. And the transanal coring procedures have also been attempted in an attempt to avoid stomas in very elderly patients. So of course, colonic stents are here to stay. They are good to tide over crisis of obstruction as well as to palliate in rectosigmoid malignancies. However, they are not desirable in right-sided malignancies and very lower rectal malignancies. TATME is a new entry in the management of colon cancers, and it is being attempted at the Far Eastern centers. Transanal endoscopic microsurgery is also there in Nagpur for the last 7-8 years. Rahate sir is practicing the TEMS procedure very frequently. One indication, very tight and good indication of doing a TEMS is a region which is a T1N0 lesion or a suspected benign polyp, wherein the chance of malignancy is low and complete resection can be done from a transanal endoscope itself. It avoids major resection, and a permanent or a temporary stoma is also avoided in such cases. Polyps may turn into malignancy, and if there is no evidence of invasion in a polyp, then a mutilating surgery or a surgery which gives the patient a stoma is not justified. So in such cases, a TEMS would be a procedure which can bridge over such kind of crisis. Coming to bladder denervation happens in almost all cases of low entry resection or APRs. The reason being, as I previously told, like high ligation of inferior mesenteric vessels or the pelvic nerve damage results in bladder denervation. Such patients need to be put on prolonged catheterization, and the total incidence of complete bladder sensory loss is less than 2%. So eventually all patients do improve, but some bladder training needs to be given. Coming to sexual dysfunction, after pelvic surgery, denervation happens, and which may result in erectile dysfunction as well as retrograde ejaculation. So in young patients who are going to be subjected to radiation, cryopreservation of their semen is desirable. Local recurrence happens because of two things. One is tumor factors as well as surgeon factors. The tumor factors are the location, histologic type, grade, lymphovascular space invasion, perineural invasion, CRM positivity. And the surgery factors could be the low resections, the TME quality, tumor spillage, and the anastomotic leak. As the T staging increases and the N staging goes up, the incidence of local failure rises from less than 10% for a T1 lesion to as high as 65% for a lesion which is T3N+. Here, adjuvant radiation needs to be given, and after addition of radiation, the local recurrence rate fall by about 30%. Now, why neoadjuvant therapy is to be given? The reasons being that the tumor can be downstaged, it is better tolerated, oxygenated tissue is there, no small bowel is there in the pelvis, so small bowel toxicity of radiation does not happen. It improves local control and eventually improves survival. However, sphincter preservation has not been documented with NACTRT. For post-operative radiotherapy, the problems include reduction in compliance, the small bowel being radiated, anastomotic site strictures, and tumor volume calculation is always inappropriate because the tumor is already knocked off. So generally the recommendation is that if a patient who is T3 or an N+ lesion should be offered anterior chemoradiation, wherein 45 to 50 gray is the quantum of radiation which is offered, and oral capecitabine in the form of tablets or IV chemotherapy is administered during chemotherapy. After finishing chemotherapy in about 5 weeks, we wait for 8 weeks for the edema and this inflammatory response of radiation to reduce and subside, and surgery is contemplated after 8 weeks of completion of radiation. In the time intervening, intravenous chemotherapy can as well be administered to downstage the tumor. So that's how I think I should conclude now. Most of the slides will not run, and without the slides, I won't be able to communicate. I'm sorry for this situation, but I'm rather helpless.
Gopal, when you are hello,
Hello.
Gopal, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
When we are giving neoadjuvant chemoradiation, and at
Yes,
the
sir.
time of anastomosis, the anal canal is when we are going for the anterior resection, or low anterior resection. So what will be the quality of the lower part of the rectum and the anal canal, and what is the possibility of leak after surgery?
Sir, if the disease is in the mid rectum or the lower rectum, all these surgeries need to be given a covering stoma, because after radiation, the microvasculature can be unpredictable. Therefore, covering stoma is desirable. Having said that, if the disease is in the upper rectum and if the leak test for betadine as well as air leak test is negative, one may get away without a stoma. In radiated patients, there will be a radiation-induced proctitis, which may be confusing. For this, I believe a frozen section for the margin assessment would be desirable in low entry sections subsequent to radiation.
And what is your choice of defunctioning, transverse colostomy or ileostomy?
If I am contemplating non-reversal of stoma, I generally prefer a transverse colostomy, wherein formed stools would come out and the stoma is more manageable. But if I am convinced that the stoma is only of temporary diversion nature, then ileostomy is the best, because ileostomy is easier to close.
Now, anybody wants to ask anything?
Deshmukh sir.
Yes, Gopal, what is your experience? Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Gopal, what is your experience about the very ultra low anastomosis and the patient is having some persistent bowel problems post-operatively or post-radiation? What about your opinion about this ultra low anastomosis?
Sir, after an ultra low AR, I think about 3 to 4 factors govern whether the stoma can be closed or not. The first and the foremost is how the anal tone is regained subsequent to completion of radiation. If after completion of radiation the anal tone is very weak, anal manometry is mandatory, and after that the ampulla of the rectum is knocked off in such cases, so the storage function of the rectum is lost. So for about a year and a half to maybe 2 years, these patients will have low volume, high frequency stools. This can be controlled partially by dietary modification as well as some medication. One idea which is advised by all surgeons is Kegel exercises, but I myself am not a very proponent of these Kegel exercises. They do not help in improving the tone of perineum as they project to be doing.
Yeah, we often see this problem in our practice. Patient continue to have the complaints about all those symptoms almost for 1 year, 2 years, and they are really puzzled the treatment plan they have received, right? I have come across few patients, they they were of opinion that why my APR was not done rather than all these sufferings.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, many a times post-operatively, all these patients, we can feel the anastomotic ring, the stapler ring also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, is it your experience that we can palpate from lower down?
if the anastomotic ring undergoes stricture formation because of radiation, and the sphincter is not competent, in such a situation,
Yeah.
by taking the patient into confidence, a good idea
Yeah.
is to convert such patients to an AP resection and give them a descending stoma and close the ileostomy, so that they at least can enjoy formed stools and have reduced skin excoriation because of an ileostomy.
Yeah. What about the post-operative dilatation?
Post-operative dilatation, of course, most of them would require post-operative dilatation. A St. dilator can be offered to them. But the dilatation actually is a double-edged sword, in the sense that when such dilatations are done, the incontinence gets unmasked,
Right.
and it's the stricture which is giving them some little continence. If the dilatation is done very vehemently, the incontinence gets unmasked.
Right.
A
Do
33
you have
millimeter
any?
stapler, when it is fired, that should be good enough.
Yeah. Right. Do you have any personal selection criteria for going whether for the laparoscopic surgery or the open surgery?
Sir, most of the patients that we face here at NCI are radiated patients, and most of them would be having T3 N plus lesions. Here,
Right.
laparoscopic resection at times is difficult. Number one.
So
Number
better-
two, if it is an extremely low resection, then I would prefer an open surgery over laparoscopy.
Right.
I'm not very familiar with doing laparoscopies.
Yeah. How do you? How often you go for the rectal manometry?
Only if a low entry resection ultra low resection has been done, and where I want to know whether closure of the stoma would be prudent in that age group, and I am not very sure about the tone of the anal sphincter. Then anal manometry is mandated prior to closure of stoma, not otherwise.
Yeah.
But that we can judge by our finger examination also.
Yeah,
Yes,
true.
yes, to some extent. There will be objective evidence if anal manometry is added.
Yeah, Dr. Parag, do you have any comment? Dr. Parag Ingre?
Yes, yes. Nice presentation, sir. There is a question from my side, sir. Hello.
Yes, Parag.
Yeah, Parag, go ahead.
Sir, what is your experience with respect to short course radiotherapy and long course radiotherapy as neoadjuvant therapy for rectum? Any experiences with short course radiotherapy of 5 days, 5 gray fractions, or you are more comfortable with long course radiotherapy?
Prior to about 4
Go-
to 5 years, Nagpur did not have very many radiation facilities. So the idea was to operate them upfront. And at that point in time, RST was so filled, so overburdened patients that arranging a short term or a short course RT was impossible. So
Okay.
I have
Parag,
practically no experience of short course RT versus long course RT.
Parag, I want to add one thing. If we are giving 5 or 10 fractions of the radiotherapy only, then it is giving only tissue edema, and it is not giving any benefit to in respect to the tumor lysis or tumor necrosis.
no
Or
downstream.
so it's not recommended. It has been obsolete since 20 years from now.
Okay. Okay, sir.
One thing, Gopal,
Yes,
regarding ligation of the inferior mesenteric, your recommendation is ligate at a lower level and dissect the nodes above that.
yeah, there's a Korean paper which says, the Korean paper which says that the advantages of a low ligation can be added with oncologic clearance by dissecting the nodes and ligating it. That seems to be a reasonably good approach.
Okay, but this is practicable also. This is a
Yes.
good suggestion.
Sir, I'll open the session for question answers. We have first question from Dr. Vikram Desai, sir. Vikram, sir, please.
Hello, good evening, Gopal.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Nice presentation, but cut short because of some technical glitch. I guess we will get it back again some other time. My query is very basic. In an emergency setting, elderly patient presenting as an obstructed hernia, I open up after basic investigations and find that there is a growth low down in the rectum. excision was done properly, but there is always a temptation that I can get away with a low coloanal anastomosis hand soon in the absence of staplers, and whether to cover it up with a colostomy or not. What's your take on that?
My experience about doing emergency surgery is very limited. I do not do any emergency
I know.
surgery. Having said that, all emergency surgeries are dogged by poor healing, improper bowel preparation, and the fact that
Yeah,
the team is not prepared for such kind of resection. So, in
right.
my opinion, emergency surgery should be covered with the stoma, so that in the situation of a mishap, contamination can be avoided, and the physiologic reserves of the patient may not be tested.
Okay.
Correct.
In an emergency situation, I think a transverse colostomy is much more desirable
Yes.
than doing a left colostomy, because left colostomy will jeopardize further surgery.
Okay.
Even if there is slightest obstruction or there is possibility of any leak, it is better to go for defunctioning colostomy. Transverse colostomy.
Okay.
In fact, Vikram,
Yeah.
I will say in any left-sided surgery which is done in unprepared colon should be always covered with defunctioning colostomy.
Correct.
No, why I'm asking is because I recently had a patient of a similar situation, a 78-year-old female presenting in emergency and obstruction, and we had to operate her in an emergency setting. And then I could do a low resection, and the anastomosis was good. There was no leak and anything. So we decided to go against a colostomy. My luck did permit me to get away with it, though we had a stormy post-op period. But then I think it's a safer option to always cover it up with a transverse colostomy.
Yeah.
Yes, all of you.
Really, you are lucky.
Patient
I
is
know.
75. One more reason to go for
Colostomy. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question from Dr. Mukund Thakur, sir. Thakur, sir. Rahul Lokhande.
Yeah, Gopal.
Thakur, sir. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gopal, there is a patient who was investigated and as per the investigations operable. Now I go in, do a laparoscopy and see that there are small peritoneal nodules in the pelvis which were missed but very close to the rectum. What should I do at this stage? Should I stop?
Very tricky.
very tricky, but this is
Very
metastatic.
tricky. This is a very tricky question,
this-
but a very frequent happening.
Yeah, this happens very frequently.
The general understanding is that even if a rectal or a colorectal malignancy is metastatic, we are contemplating metastatic liver resections, metastatectomies in the lung. Therefore, resecting a small portion of the peritoneum along with the malignancy is always justified. Number one. Number two, if the patient is eventually going to undergo bowel obstruction, then sooner or later a surgical diversion or, for that matter, palliative excision will always be justified. So it can be either ways situation. If there is imminent obstruction, one may go ahead with the surgery, remove the primary, or else if the patient is completely in a controlled situation, one might take a biopsy, come out to re-enter only after completion of and of course chemotherapy.
Yeah. Palliative excision is justifiable. Yeah, Gopal.
Yes, to maintain bowel. Yeah.
Yes, palliative excision is justifiable in these situations, and then rest will be taken up by chemotherapy. Gopal, if we see during surgery, we see one or two nodes in the liver in the same segment, and if somebody is able to do the metasectomy, it is advisable, or
with very comprehensive imaging that is done. Even a PET scan is routinely done. So to have liver metastasis which are missed in preoperative imaging is absolutely rare. But if we are if we happen to embark upon such kind of situation, I think it is better to deal with the primary and leave the secondary for a second attempt. Or else, if the secondaries can be knocked off with a reasonable margin, we may do both the procedures. But liver lesions in such patients are stage 4 disease, and therefore surgical cure is never going to happen. It is always punctuated with chemotherapy, and the metastatectomies are never one-time procedures.
No, if we preoperatively, if we know there are 2 or 3 lesions in the liver, and that is
Then of
resectable.
course upfront surgery is not recommended. We should go ahead with systemic chemotherapy and just diversion if the patient is having imminent obstruction, because liver metastasis may or may not respond to chemotherapy. Number 1. Number 2, there may be disease which the current imaging has not
Which is
picked up.
not visible now.
So when the patient comes up for follow-up, he may have even disease progression in spite of taking chemotherapy.
Next question is from Dr. Tome sir. Tome sir, I have unmuted your mic. Yeah. Tome sir, please ask your question. Tome sir. Okay, Rahul Lokhande, please unmute your mic. Rahul Lokhande, not available. Tome sir, no. Swanand Chaudhary sir, please ask your question. Swanand Chaudhary sir, not available. Vikas Jain sir, please ask your question.
Hello, Gopal sir.
Good evening, sir.
Gopal.
Sir.
Hello, Yogesh, can I ask?
Good evening, sir. Sir, one very basic question. Hello, Gopal, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A very basic question. This is just 4 or 5 years we have started neoadjuvant chemotherapy in CA rectum. So before that,
Yes,
we used to directly operate the patient once we diagnose the
Yes,
CA
sir.
rectum, and if it is operable. So
Yes, sir.
because we are giving chemotherapy, we are delaying the surgery for 3 to 4 months. So is every time the chemotherapy is effective? Because sometimes patient may not be respond to chemotherapy, and by the time we operate, the chances, the stage of the disease may change for once we operate 3 or
Yes,
4
sir.
months back after the diagnosis. So what is
So
your take?
the standard recommendation is that if on MRI scanning the disease is T3 or N1 or N2, in that situation, radiation would improve local control. Radiation will lead to disease shrinking and then will lead to improved local control even if we operate 12 weeks subsequent to completion of radiation. Now the time between 8th week to 12th week of radiation is a gray zone wherein the tumor might still have extended effect of radiation or an aggressive tumor may spread. Therefore, this time frame of 0 to 8 weeks is mandatory for the edema effect or the inflammatory effect of radiation to subside. But some surgeons have actually waited beyond 12 weeks for the extended effect of radiation to come over. Now, one caveat in this situation is a signature malignancy of rectum. Now, signature malignancy of rectum is a stubborn malignancy where there is very little response to chemotherapy or radiation, and such patients might progress during chemoradiation. They are generally younger patients in their 2nd or 3rd decade, and unfortunately, even upfront surgeries in such patients eventually fail. So we still do not know what we need to do in such aggressive histobiology type of rectal malignancies.
But the recent dictum is always go for neoadjuvant chemoradiotherapy.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir, one more question. If you give the one more question. If we give radiotherapy pre-operatively, you have told the lower anti-resection or ultra resection should not be done in such case. You directly go for APR.
If the patient is elderly and the tone is not good enough to hold fecal matter, I mean, if there is going to be fecal incontinence, there's no point doing an LAR.
No. During your talk, you have told if the patient has received radiotherapy, we should avoid going for anterior resection in such patient.
No. It depends on the sphincter tone and the distance of growth from the anal verge. If we are going to get a 2 centimeter negative margin, and if the anal tone is good enough, then post radiation LARs are justified.
Justified. Okay.
Sir, what is your take on the thing that radiation can convert an APR into LAR? There are mixed reports about that.
I think
Radiation
all
can,
surgeons make up their mind about what they are going to do with a given case, whether radiation is given or not. And radiation can never have a centripetal predictable response. It's always going to be a patchy response.
so
Radiation
APR
is
and
always going to
LAR
have a
Okay.
before radiation itself
yes,
in most of
yes.
right, sir?
None of the trials, none of the studies, just barring one German trial which said that APRs could be avoided. Rest all studies say that APRs cannot be avoided.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, Bansod sir, your question
Thank you,
next.
Gopal.
Thank you, sir.
Atish Bansod sir.
Hello. Hello, Gopal.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Gopal, I have two questions. What are the cases in which you do a PET CT? And a second question is, in case if you are doing a coloanal anastomosis, is there any role of creating a pouch?
Yes. We are doing PET scans when we are assuming that the disease is advanced, and this PET scan can be either a pre-treatment PET scan or a PET scan just prior to surgery, because we restage and reinvestigate the patient after completion of radiation and 6 weeks subsequent to completion of radiation. So we are doing PET scans either before or after radiation. Coming to your second question, the pouch actually reduces your stool frequency only in the first year and a half or a couple of years subsequent to surgery. After that, the results of a pouch and not creating a pouch do not differ. When a pouch is created, the stool frequency is said to be somewhat lower in the first year and a half of surgery. But subsequent to that, results of either the pouch creation or an end-to-end anastomosis are as much the same. I do not generally put in a pouch.
But generally, the means the main frequency, I suppose, is initially only, means patient is mainly bothered in the initial period, because gradually the body takes over, and I suppose the frequency should decrease later on. So that was the reason
Yes,
I had asked this question.
The patient actually adapts himself to their frequency.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Tome sir, your next question. Tome sir. Okay, Kothari sir, please ask your question.
Hello.
Hello,
yes, sir. Kothari.
Gopal.
Yes, sir.
Stage 4 disease, actually with no liver mets on CT scan, but the patient is having obstructive symptoms. Should we do stenting and then do radiotherapy, or do some ileostomy?
Sir, when a stage 4 disease comes over with obstruction, there are two considerations. One is whether patient is for a long is going to have a reasonable survival or not. If the patient is not going to have a reasonable, perhaps attempting stenting on a left-sided rectosigmoid lesion is justified.
Okay.
But if the survival is expected to be longer because the limited oligometastatic C rectum is there, then a colostomy is justified.
Okay, so the patient is, young patient. So we always we want to give something, whether we should do stenting and do radiotherapy or directly go for some ileostomy. Which would be
Stenting is
better?
technically demanding. Stenting is technically demanding, and very few patients have got narrow lesions which are worth stenting.
Patient, that's what I'm asking. A young
Yes, sir?
patient, we had such patient, a very young patient who developed these symptoms of obstructive late. She was detected very late. And then we had taken her to Tata Hospital, and then they were telling we will do stenting. But some other surgeon, he told, no, we'll do primary operation. That's why you had this problem, that's why I'm asking.
Stenting for very low rectal malignancy is not due to the stent, generally migrates across the anal opening.
Okay. Right.
It is stenting is good enough for rectosigmoid or upper rectal malignancies. And that is also a demanding one. I have done an emergency laparotomy for an failed stenting with perforation of the malignancy.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So next question is from Dr. Swanand Chaudhary sir. Chaudhary sir, please. Sir, we are not listening to your voice, sir. Swanand, sir.
Are you getting my voice?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, Gopal. Nice presentation.
Good evening, sir.
And I just wanted one question that you mentioned about bladder denervation during the rectal carcinoma surgery. Did you had any problem sometime facing any intraoperative ureteral injuries? If yes, how did you manage that?
Yes, perineal urethral injuries I have encountered and I have repaired them myself. That requires strong catheterization. Ureteral injuries are uncommon during rectal surgery.
Okay, and
I mean,
colorectal?
unless
Colorectal?
even during colorectal surgery, I mean, lower getting damaged or it would be a big accident.
Yeah, so you did not face any such problem so far.
Ureteric problem I haven't faced, but I have actually taken away a part of membranous urethra, which I had to repair primarily.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Rahul Lokhande, are you available online? Please unmute yourself. Tome, sir. Tome, sir. So most of the questions are done, sir. We have covered most of the hands which are raised. So, yeah, last comment from our panel, Arora sir and Deshmukh sir.
Gopal, very nice discussion. Although there was some problem with the internet connection and your slides, but the discussion and thorough explanation by you, everything was well covered. So I think this is a good scientific discussion. And congratulations, Gopal.
Thank you, sir. I am extremely sorry for the technical glitch.
No, it's
sometimes the internet
technical.
speed was not okay. Sometimes the audio was not good. Sometimes the slides were not running. All problems. I'm sorry for that.
Very good. Very good discussion.
Yeah, Gopal, very nice presentation. In spite of so many hassles, you completed your presentation very nicely, and there are so many practical tips out of your this speech, and that also speaks to your experience and practical surgical experience about all these patients, how you manage adjuvant, new adjuvant, and post-operative radiation and surgical treatment of the carcinoma rectum. Though it is a very complex situation wherein the nowadays laparoscopy and open surgery both options are available, and selectively one has to use very selectively in a given patient for its appropriate utility and the outcome. So it was a very nice presentation and nice explanation to all the queries. Thank you, Gopal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And Yogesh, very well managed.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for this.
Yeah.
Which
No.
You covered everything and.
Parag, thank you. Thank you, Rajendra sir. Thank you, Sudhir sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Parag.
Okay. So thank you, Gopal sir. We'll get you online.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you. I'm sorry for the trouble.
Thank you, Yogesh. Yeah.
We'll get you online some other day. Don't worry.
Okay.
Hi, Saurabh.
Hi.
So I'm making you the presenter now.
Okay.
So you might have got share your screen.
So my screen, हाँ ठीक है.
I have seen your screen.
So
Show me.
We of course it's work in progress, but
Yeah, no issue. We are just seeing your presentation. So yeah, your camera.
हाँ. अच्छा मैं कहाँ दिख रहा हूँ? मेरी शक्ल दिखेगी क्या इसमें?
दिखेगी. मैंने वेबकैम रिक्वेस्ट भेजा है तुमको. आया? Yeah. So
good,
I'm seeing you. I am seeing your presentation nicely. Okay.
क्या बोलते हैं?
सर बढ़िया. जस्ट एक ट्रायल रन लेके देख लिया हमने अभी, यानी कल हिच ना हो कुछ.
बराबर है।
So just it's
नहीं
a
मैं
simple
बोला
correction. हाँ सर.
अरे योगेश, मैं क्या
हाँ, सर.
बोला कि लिंक अगर भेज सकते तो अपन अपने डॉक्टर्स को भेज देंगे, जबलपुर वाले वगैरह।
सर भेज देंगे ना सर, सबको भेज देंगे, कोई इशू नहीं है. वी कैन हैव 100 to 110 पीपल ऑनलाइन. यूजुअली अपने नागपुर के 70-75 लोग हो ही जाते हैं सर.
नहीं तो उसमें क्या नंबर
Limited है क्या?
ऐसा ये है कि रेस्ट्रिक्टेड है क्या?
सर अपन ने जो सब्सक्रिप्शन लिया है वो 100 अटेंडेंस का लिया है पर डे, पर सेशन.
नहीं, फिर ठीक है, जान दे फिर, क्योंकि आज मैंने वेबिनार किया ना.
हाँ सर.
तो कितने लोग थे पता है क्या तेरे को?
सर रहेंगे सर आपके इसमें 2000-3,500 करीब रहे.
2477
बराबर है सर, रहते ही है सर. वो नेशनल लेवल पे होता है ना सर, दैट इज.
हाँ नेशनल लेवल पे 2477 थे.
बराबर है
लास्ट वाला बोल रहा था कि अभी इसके पहले 2300 वाज दी हाईएस्ट फिगर.
ओके ओके.
तो ये वाज
ये सर अपना विदर्भ लेवल का है एक्चुअली, वीएसए लेवल तक का ही है, विदर्भ सर्जिकल एसोसिएशन के लेवल पे.
फिर ठीक है यार, फिर जान दो.
मैक्सिमम या मैक्सिमम टिल नाउ
कैपेसिटी नहीं होंगी ना तो फिर वो जान दो.
हाँ सर, मैक्सिमम हमारा 95-96 अटेंडीज हुए हैं सर अभी तक एक सेशन में. तो या सौरभ, सो कल इसी तरह कनेक्ट करेंगे, इंटरनेट क्लिक करके 1-2 स्लाइड्स आगे पीछे करके देख लो तुम्हारे, फिर हमको क्लियर हो जाएगा.
हाँ देख लेते ना, 1 मिनट.
और चलाना है तो एक हाथ वीडियो भी चला लो, कोई इशू नहीं.
यार वीडियो मैंने लाला नहीं है, एम्बेड किया अभी, बट को दिख रहा है ये.
हाँ एकदम क्लियर है, बिल्कुल बढ़िया बढ़िया बढ़िया.
ठीक है,
अच्छा है, कोई इशू नहीं, बढ़िया चलेगा.
ठीक है,
राइट. तो मैं तेरे को लिंक जनरेट कर लेता हूँ कल के इसका. आई विल जनरेट योर लिंक. तो कल जो तेरे को ये प्रेजेंट ईमेल आएगा, यू हैव टू कनेक्ट थ्रू दैट ईमेल, राइट?
ठीक है. जस्ट सेंड मी अ लिंक एंड यू नो आई विल सेंड इट टू सम पीपल, आई गेस.
Yeah, you can send some of your friends and all. That is not an issue at all. Right. We'll do that. No issue. ठीक है.
Eventually, अच्छा, we will chat later. वो मेरे को अपने क्लिनिकल मीट्स इन फ्यूचर करना है, तो वो क्या बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे.
अपन उस पे डिस्कस करते हैं, यहाँ पे करेंगे बाद में, ठीक है? We'll discuss. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Thanks.